Happy holidays, everybody. Because Christmas is coming up, I decided to make a festive type of video to set the mood in. Before the wishlist starts, I'd like to announce that I actually have another holiday-themed video coming out where I'm gonna do my face reveal, which is set to premiere on the 23rd, so if you want to see my exquisite, beautiful face, please go check that out when it comes out. And with that said, let's dive into my wishlist. A lot of you will probably say this is a weird pick for number 5, but something I really want Ponos to do is make Blooming Kamakara's true form. You might be wondering why this unit in particular, but I think I have some pretty good reasons. So, in my opinion, Blooming Kamakara's attack animation is really cool and colorful looking, while Kamakara himself is just black and white. He's pretty lame. So, with the festive new true forms, I'm hoping they give Kamakara some sort of, color and light to him, because I really like his hat and just his design. And I hope he becomes as flamboyant as his attack animation is. Also, in giving Kamakara a true form, I would hope he gets some sort of anti-Aku targeting as well as shield breaker in the stat boost because his DPS is not that good. It's just kind of unfortunate that most of the seasonal Ubers are so bad, and since one of my favorites is actually Blooming Kamakara, I'd really like to see him get a new paint job as well as new abilities, so he can actually be a decent Uber that, people can use, because at the current state of him, he just has weird, shoddy anti-metal abilities that's just 50% knockback and slow. And these abilities are kind of useless since he can't do critical hits, and you can just use the Cyclone units instead of him for anti-metal crit control, so yeah. He needs an upgrade really bad, and I hope a true form gives him that. At the number 4 spot on my wishlist, I would like Ponos to add a Shield Breaker Cat Cannon. So, if you've played through Cats of the Cosmos, you know about the Breaker Blast Cannon. It is a cat cannon that breaks starred alien barriers, and what I want is a similar type of cannon that breaks Aku shields instead. The reason I really want this added is because currently we don't really have any good shield breaker units that are reliable. The only reliable ones are Ubers actually, being Furaluga and Heavy Jerk. As of now, I don't think there's any no Gacha units that have a guaranteed chance to break shields. The only units I know of that can break shields are Aku Researcher, Lil Macho Legs, Lil Titan, and Pied Piper Cat. All of which aren't that reliable and need RNG to work, as well as being outranged by a couple different Aku units like Le Behemoth. If we had a Shield Breaker Cat Cannon though, it would really help fend off those annoying Aku enemies when you're not getting lucky with your Shield Breaker units, and it could either just be kind of like a Breaker Blast reskin or something completely different. Maybe a Cat Cannon that fires like a Surge that breaks shields instead. I don't know the exact specifics, I just know that I want a reliable way to kill Fallen Bear and Le Behemoth because they are some of the most annoying enemies I've ever faced because I can never get Aku Researcher to proc, so I always end up losing and having to redo levels. The shield breakers never come in clutch for me, so it'd be really refreshing to have a reliable way to break those shields. The third thing on my wishlist isn't something new I want added to the game, it's just something I flat out really want, and that's Emperor Cat. If you didn't know, Emperor Cat is a legend rare from the Dynasty Fest banner, and he has some amazing abilities. I cannot lie, I'd much rather have this guy over Mitama, because he seems way more fun to use, because he's able to inflict 4 different types of debuffs on traded enemies, which is just really cool. None of them are guaranteed, but it's just kind of wild that you can inflict knockback, slow, freeze, or weaken all at the same time. Just seems like a fun gamble unit to use. And also, he has 551 range, and that's really high considering he also has 5k DPS. So not only does this guy have really fun abilities, but he also has actually good attacking stats. As of now, I have 3 legend rares, which are Babel, Headmistress Jane, and Colossal Benki. Honestly, I would just trade all 3 of them in if they'd give me Emperor Cat for him, because he's just that good, he's just that cool and amazing, and none of the other legend rares can compare to how awesome he is in my opinion. But, this is obviously a very subjective list. If you like a different legend rare more, I completely understand, but Emperor Cat's the one for me, and I want him, and, yeah, that's about it. Returning back to adding new things to the game, I really hope Ponos adds Shishilan Pasilan's talents in soon. The reason Shishilan is my profile picture is because he was one of my most used units back in my younger years, back in like elementary and middle school, and he really helped carry me through Floor 30, Manic Eraser, Stories of Legends, and many more stages I just dragged him along into. Now that I'm in late game though, it's pretty sad to see how outclassed Shishiland has become. He's really slow, and his force swing is just too long to be worth using, as well as the time between attacks just being really not fun to work with. I mean, that 20 seconds that's a pretty big window. So I think that talents could really change the situation of him being outdated in late game. I'm not trying to be biased, but in my opinion, Shishiland needs to get some overpowered talents. First off, my boy needs Surge Immune so he can be good against the Aku and stay relevant and hip in these times. Secondly, I think he deserves a level 4 Surge attack ability. This will boost his DPS to roughly 45k when strengthened, so he can compete with OP units like Dark Castle. Third, Shishiland deserves a speed up. He only has 4 speed, so what's the harm in making him a little bit faster, right? I think he deserves a speed up talent. Also, instead of the usual 20% stat boost from the attack up defense up talents, I think he should get an 80% stat boost, just like the purchasable special cats. I think that'd make him a really balanced unit that can stay relevant during the times. But if I'm being unironic though, Surge Immune would actually be really good for him without being overpowered. It'd give him a relevant niche against the Aku and just keep him more fresh, I guess I would say. I don't even know if he needs Shield Breaker though, because his damage is so high. Overall though, for whatever talents they give Shishiland, I just want them to make him useful, if you know what I mean. Like, he's not in a good place in late game. He doesn't have a use. He's just a generic attacker that can't really do anything. So it'd be nice if talents gave him some sort of specialist role other than being just a generic backliner and anti-waver. I'm just hoping that Ponos doesn't botch his talents and make them bad, like some of his fellow Nekaluga's talents. Ultraland. Having finally reached the #1 spot on the list, you might be wondering what I want added to Battle Cats most, and that answer is pretty simple actually. I just want some multiplayer action. And I don't mean 1v1s because I can't see any possible way that'd be balanced. I mean some sort of special campaign that you can play remotely with a friend. Basically, both of you would get money at a halved rate during this campaign, but you would have 10 cat slots each still. This could be a fun way you could play with your friends and flex all your cool Ubers on them. It wouldn't have to be a bunch of hard stages, and I don't really know how they could make stages hard when you're playing with another person, but I just want the stages they add to be fun or interesting in some way, as well as give some good rewards like rare tickets, or maybe some sort of exclusive cat you get for being the whole multiplayer campaign. Now, I know Nintendo Switch already had multiplayer, but I don't have a Switch, so I have no idea if it was good or not. If you've played Battle Cats on a Switch, please let me know if the multiplayer was good, because being able to play Battle Cats with friends just sounds really fun, and quite refreshing if you ask me. I think it'd be a good way to add a lot more new stages that you can grind for money, as well as making them a lot more fun and interesting than the usual grindy stages. Even if they were too easy or too boring or too whatever, I mean, it beats just grinding alone, right? As long as they have good rewards, it'd all be worth it. Well, that concludes my Battle Cats wish list. Comment your own personal list down below. Do you agree with what I put here? Disagree? I mean, what are your thoughts? I know this list was kind of sporadic. It was like a bunch of different, completely different new things I wanted, and also just me wanting Emperor Cat, so if this list wasn't what you expected, I'm sorry, but you know, it is what it is. This is the stuff I want in Battle Cats. And this is all the stuff that just came to my head immediately. There's a bunch of other stuff I want too that just didn't make the list, like, where is Papaluga's true form? That's a big question that is not answered. I need Papaluga true form now, Ponos. If you liked the video, please leave a comment, maybe even a sub and a like. My lists are usually a little bit more organized. Actually, now that I think of it, I don't really make lists like this. You know, Xskull and stuff is always making top 5, top 10 lists. I almost never do this. I do have real good videos in my unit review playlist. I'll link that here. My unit reviews are basically where I do high quality, long reviews on one unit rather than ranking a bunch of different ones on like some sort of tier list thing. So yeah, if you like Battle Cats content, go check that playlist out. And also, as I said at the beginning of the video, I do have another Christmas themed video coming out in 2 days, which will be extremely high quality, or not, I don't know if I'd say quality, but it had a lot of love and care put into it, so I'd really appreciate it if you go watch that when it comes out, I mean, because, you know, it's premiering and stuff. Have happy holidays, everybody. Please subscribe for more content, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.